Hi, so I'm going to show you how to use the generator to forms generator to create a main menu and a subform. And generally, I've seen students do other things, but generally what I find is that if you have a main menu, then you want to think about the one, and the subform would be the many. And so with this example rubric database that I have here, that's just watered down in an older version. So I have a one-to-many relationship here. I have all the rubric points, and then I have the student responses. And so if we look here, you can see that I have all of these rubric points in here, and then there isn't going to be any records for this for students, but if you were to go and type information in for the responses to each rubric point, then they would be stored in here. Okay, so anyway, alright, so I'm going to show you how I do this. I click on Create, and then I click on Form Wizard. Okay, and I'm going to use the rubric points table for my main form, because it's like the one in the relationship, and then I can bring over all of my fields from there. And then I can bring over all of the fields from there. So now I have all of my fields that I want in my main form and subform. And so then I'll click on Next. And how do you want to view the data? I want it to be by the rubrics points. And I'm clicking here form with subforms. Yeah. Okay, and so then how would you like the subform to be? Do you want a datasheet form or tabular form? I think tabular is prettier, so I'll click on that, but you can do datasheet, it doesn't matter. And then we'll go ahead and see the outcome of that. And so now it's generating it, and so here is what the generator has generated. Now, one of the things that I want to point out to you is that this is what the generator generates, but there's a lot of problems with this form, and I think that you can see some of them, like for example, right here, this is cut off, and you've got this over here. This kind of looks obnoxious, and then here you see there's no spaces in between a number of the fields, and this doesn't mean anything. And look here, we've got no spaces in between the words. And TBL, what does that mean to the user? You want to think about it in generating or in designing a form. You want to think about what looks attractive and useful to the user. Does this work? Maybe not. And maybe some of these fields you might even not really understand, or maybe they're old. This show property, show field, show object, they're old. Just an FYI, you don't really need them. But the biggest point is that you need this to look better, and I encourage you to think about what would the user want in a design of a form. Yeah, so just think about that, because this is a place to start, but it's not where you want to end up for the user. You need to think about what's user friendly. Thanks.